What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here with a bit of a different kind of content piece for you guys today. There's been a lot been made out of Spurs' pre-season, other teams' pre-season, and also throughout the years pre-season. And what we wanted to have a look at is if there's any correlation between having a good pre-season and having a good start to the season. I mean, I remember off the top of my head many years ago, Darren Benton hitting about 18 goals during pre-season and Spurs not having a very good start to that season. So in my personal opinion, I didn't think there was any correlation, but we are going to delve deep into the last 6 years of pre-season, see how we did in those eight years of pre-season, and see how we started those 8 seasons as well. But let us know in the comment section below, do you think, before we get into it, there is a correlation or not? What do you think off the face of things? Well, you've delved deep into the stats, so you can't really say.
What I will say is, always, whenever there's pre-season games, people always make so much of it. You know, United beating Liverpool 4-0, Ten Hag's, you know, on his way up and everything like that. They're looking good in pre-season, things like that. When Spurs players make the mistakes in pre-season, like I remember for the K-League game, everyone was like, "Oh, this shows how we need to improve our defence and all this kind of stuff."
And also people are like, oh, if he plays well in this game, maybe he's going to be starting in the first Premier League game. But I don't really think they take those kind of things into account. For me, pre-season is about trying new things and getting the fitness up, ultimately.
Basically, and seeing how the dynamics and the structure of the team. It's not really about results, I feel, pre-season. But we thought maybe if there is a correlation, maybe it would appear in the stats. So I was looking through I looked at all our pre-seasons, all their results since the 14-15 season, which was Pochettino's first season, and I've looked obviously all the starts to the season as well since then. For our worst pre-season in the last 8 years was actually Pochettino's second season. That was our worst pre-season we had. We played 3 games. Obviously, a lot of it is how many games you play, and
also who you play against.
But we played 3 games that pre-season. We won 1, lost 2, which is actually our worst pre-season results.
Who did we play?
We played Real Madrid. We played Real Madrid. We played Inter Milan. Sorry, AC Milan, and MLS All Stars.
So obviously that was the pre-season when we just signed Dele Alli, nutmegged Luka Modric that game. So we ended up losing to Real Madrid, losing to MLS All-Stars and beating Milan. Yeah,
2-0 in the end. So that was, in theory, our worst ever pre-season, because if you take that in terms of wins per game and stuff like that, that was our weakest pre-season. But we started the season okay. We didn't start it great, but we ended up going for a title challenge that season. We ended up only losing 1 of our last 10 games, of our first 10 games that season as well.
Who did we start the season off to that year?
We actually started the season with 4 winless games, if you remember. We lost to Man United the opening day, then we had 3 draws, and then we started on a good run. But that was our worst pre-season. It was Pochettino's second season. Our best ever pre-season was actually Pochettino's first season, where we played 5 games and won 4, scoring 16 goals in 5 games. We really were quite rampant in that pre-season. We played the likes of Seattle Sounders, Toronto, Chicago Fire, Celtic, and Schalke.
Well, it wasn't the hardest run of fixtures, was it?
Not the hardest, but Schalke, a decent German team. I don't know, but we still scored a lot of goals, 16 goals, and our start to the season that season was terrible. We played we lost 4 of our opening 10 games.
We beat that's when we beat West Ham first game of the season with Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer scoring on the opening day, but then we beat QPR. Then we went on a really bad run after that.
What, 4-0 against QPR, was it?
We beat QPR 4-0, and then we lost 3-0 at home to Liverpool. We lost 1-0 at home to West Brom. I think we drew to Sunderland as well, like 2-2. We were on a very poor run. Ended up only winning. We won 4 of our first 10, but we lost 4. You know what I mean? So wasn't great. I
actually remember that period. I mean, later on in that season a bit, or maybe it was on that run, people started already questioning Pochettino.
Yeah. Despite having a strong pre-season, we didn't get off to the best season. Looking at if you look at our strongest pre-seasons, Nuno last season was a fairly strong pre-season. We went unbeaten the whole pre-season.
But we played maximum of championship sides last season, didn't we?
We played 5 games, winning
Reading.
3, drawing 2. I can tell you who we played.
It was Reading,
Nuno.
Birmingham.
It was Leyton Orient, Colchester, Milton Keynes, Chelsea and Arsenal.
Oh, did we not play Reading and Birmingham?
That was the one before.
Oh, okay.
And we ended up winning 3, drawing 2, unbeaten that whole pre-season, scoring 10 goals, conceding 4. So very strong pre-season. And then we lost 5 of our opening 10 games.
But we won 3 of our opening 3 games.
We did not win our opening 3, that's true, but we did end up losing, I think, the 5 of the opening 10 in the end. So despite going unbeaten, and maybe people arguing, because when we beat Arsenal, we played quite well that game. I remember in the pre-season game.
We did, yeah. That was the game where Højbjerg squared up to Arteta, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Another very strong pre-season was our first one. Our first pre-season under Jose. We played 4 games, winning 3, losing 1. That was one of our stronger ones. And we did have a strong start to the season, winning 6 of our opening 10 games, only losing 1. So that's one where it correlates, but it doesn't really correlate in too many other scenarios.
I think it's probably safe to say that it's completely random. Completely random.
I think that's probably the lesson we're learning from looking at these pre-season
The lesson we're learning here is basically pre-season results don't matter to how you're going to perform in the league or how you're going to start the season.
Even if we're looking at goals scored, so I broke it down as well. Like if we were a high scoring team in pre-season, does that correlate to maybe being a high scoring team when the season starts? Our highest scoring pre-season was that Pochettino pre-season. We 3.2 goals a game, and we were only getting 1.3 goals a game when the season started. So I mean, there's really. And also under Nuno, that was one of we were getting 2 goals a game. And then when the season starts, it was under a goal a game.
The season started, we couldn't even have a shot on target. Never mind goals a game, you know what I mean?
When it goes to defence as well, if we have a solid defence, does that mean we're going to have a solid defence when the season starts? Again, our best defensive pre-season was under Jose and under Nuno. And when the season started, it was just under a goal conceded per game, 0.8 in both seasons. And then goals conceded per game when the season starts. Under Jose, to be honest, was pretty decent, 0.9. But under Nuno, it was nearly 2 goals conceded per game. So, I guess what the main lesson is, don't take pre-season results too seriously.
Yeah.
And don't make too many judgments from them, because anything, like a lot of things can happen in pre-season. You can have a brilliant pre-season, you can have a bad pre-season, but it doesn't mean anything for when the results start. I remember Jamie O'Hara was saying a story on TalkSport how when he was manager of Billericay, he said that during pre-season, he said he was like Guardiola. He was winning every game, smashing every team, and everyone thought he was the bollocks, basically, during pre-season. Then the season started, he lost the first 4 games. And then all of a sudden, he's under pressure and everyone wants him out. So I think when people, when you see online, people going too overboard about judging pre-season results and even actions in pre-season, like Dyer makes a mistake, it proves he's not good enough, all this kind of stuff. I think you have to be very careful when you're judging pre-season results on the face of the results.
Is that going to stop us over analysing the game this weekend?
Definitely not. It's vital we beat Roma. Vital, or Conte's in trouble. I'm joking.
So player rating Sunday then.
100%. You bet. So I guess that's the main takeaway. Don't take pre-season results too seriously. There is no correlation pretty much whatsoever between pre-season results and how well you're going to start the season.
Pretty much as I expected, to be honest. Like I mentioned, like that year when Darren Bent literally scored like 18 goals or something in pre-season, 15, whatever it was. He scored about the same amount throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
And we had a terrible start to that season. We were just blowing away teams left, right and centre. Was that the season that we had 2 points from 8 games? It was, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. 2 points from 8 games, and you got Spurs smashing teams 5, 6, 7-0 every week in pre-season.
Well,
so
look at this: in Pochettino's first pre-season, we played 5 games and scored 16 goals in our first 10 games of the season, we scored 13 goals.
There you
We
go.
scored more the whole pre-season than we did in our first 10 games. That goes
Well,
to-
there you have it. So what we found out today is that pre-season results mean absolutely nothing in terms of how you're going to start the season. So
if you're looking for a correlation, you weren't going to find it here.
exactly, Sim tried to find it for you. He tried to find it for
I
you.
looked at everything, but there was just no correlation. It's just random. It literally doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Literally mix and match.
Well, there you have it. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding pre-season and how the season starts. Let me thank you everyone for watching today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.